Final Fantasy VII Remake, a game that, even though the term remake is in the title, there are still a handful of people who refuse to understand why it's different. To be fair, in their defense, the term remake and remaster has become so ambiguously tossed around for every other game, it's kinda hard to distinguish what one would consider a remake or a remaster. If anybody wants my 2 cents on it, I think a remaster is practically only quality of life stuff. Better graphics, more fluent gameplay, better audio, etc. But more or less building off the foundation of the original game. Whereas a remake is, well, remaking the game from scratch. Zero. Pretty straightforward. Regardless of what your stance is, you saw the title. Today we are going to be talking about Final Fantasy VII Remake, a game with so many mysteries behind not only the story, but the characters themselves. And when it comes to said characters, there is one whose existence poses as one of, if not the biggest mystery in the entire game. Not only to new incoming fans, but more...
Gonna do a little dance for us, baby girl?
But more importantly, to returning ones as well.
Aerith, I love you! Marry me!
No, Zach, not you. Calm down, we'll get to you another time. That's right, baby. I'm talking about none other than our ray of sunshine, Aerith. As someone who's played both the original Final Fantasy VII as well as witnessing others' reactions, when it comes to the characters, we all more or less feel a sense of familiarity amongst them. From Cloud to Marlene to even Ketchi, who, yes, they were in this game for a whole 15 seconds. But regardless, there is one character that across the board has us all feeling both a sense of familiarity, but also sort of acts as a completely new stranger to us, primarily in the way they're acting. By this point, there is no secret that Aerith knows more than she is letting on. And today, I've had enough of it. Her cutesy, adorable smile.
Off we go!
Her heartwarming, melting personality.
That a compliment?
Her alluring comedic charm.
Shit.
Throughout the game, she has proven numerous times to have been hiding something, and today we will explore not only what exactly it is that she is hiding, but how she knows this, as well as how it may possibly even be connected to Cloud, and maybe even Zack. Strap yourselves in, baby, because, like always, there is a lot to go through. We'll begin our venture at the best place that there is to begin anything. The beginning. While rendezvousing with Avalanche, Cloud wanders into the street where we would have our first encounter with Aerith. She is being attacked by these invisible beings that we come to know as the Seers, or Whispers. For those who don't know what the Seers are, I could make a whole in-depth video about their existence as well as their importance, but for the sake of time, Whispers are beings whose essential function is to make sure that fate carries on its designated course. If fate dictates that you get hit by a bus today, the Seers will make sure that you get hit by that bus, no matter how much you try to avoid it. Out of desperation, she grabs onto Cloud, and it is at this moment that he begins to see them too. Without hesitation, she immediately shows signs of familiarity with Cloud, going so far as to offering him a flower right off the bat, which in and of itself wouldn't suggest so, if it wasn't followed up by this.
How much?
Well, that depends on the customer. In your case... it's on the house.
Huh?
Lovers used to give these when they were reunited.
Look, I'm involved in things. Dangerous things.
Oh, I'm sure you are. So?
So keep your distance.
Wait, you think someone's out to get you? Is that what you're all worked up about? Relax. No one's going to attack you. I promise.
Now, of course, this isn't anything definitive. It could be because Cloud is carrying the all-too-familiar Buster Sword that she assumes he's friends with Zack, and by default, a good guy. But it does raise an eyebrow. In the original Final Fantasy VII, Aerith doesn't offer you a flower, let alone straight up for free. In fact, the whole interaction is rather quick. She shows up, asks you to buy a flower for 1 gil, you buy the flower, and she dips. That's that. As to why I'm bringing up the original Final Fantasy VII when we're talking about the remake, it'll all make sense soon, I promise. Moving on, the next time we run into Aerith will be at the church in the Sector 5 slums. Between here and the plate falling is where we spend the majority of our time besides Aerith, and even the most determined mind is bound to crack occasionally, no matter how much of an act you put up. While acting as her bodyguard, Cloud and Aerith successfully arrive back at her house. After making sure she is safe and sound, Cloud prepares to head out to reunite with Tifa in Sector 7. Aerith asks if he still needed to know the way, and after quick banter, and of course, witty flirting, Aerith tells Cloud that she will escort him herself, to which Cloud has this to say.
Honestly, I'm much more worried about you. What if you get lost, huh? You'd be too embarrassed to admit it, and so you'd just keep on going.
Quit acting like you know me.
Hey, Mom. I'm gonna go take Cloud over to Sector 7, okay?
Now, at first glance, this could simply be Aerith being Aerith, teasing the cold brick of a heart that is Cloud's strife. However, Cloud isn't necessarily wrong here, and he makes a perfectly valid point. Why does Aerith act like she knows him? The only interaction they had prior to Cloud falling from the sky was the small exchange in the street. Even recently, they've only traveled the short distance from the church to her house. Hardly enough time for you to get to know somebody inside and out. Unless, of course, you've already met before. Moving on, Aerith and Cloud postpone their journey for the day and instead decide to help out around the town. While saving some kids who got stuck playing, an old hooded figure appears latching on to Cloud. Cloud has another relapse before coming to, and it is in this moment that Aerith, yet again, shows that there is something else going on, responding to Cloud as such.
Cloud, get it together. Come on.
You don't know who Sephiroth is, do you?
Sephiroth, the war hero? I know he died in an accident 5 years ago. They said so on the news.
Maybe they did. But I've got a feeling he's still alive.
Oh, right. Come on, let's go.
It's almost as if she already knows not only that he may be alive, but that he is alive. Almost seemingly as if she was reminded of this fact.
Oh, right.
Interesting. After reuniting with Tifa in Wall Market, which, by the way, Wall Market, easily one of the best segments of video game history of all time. Period. I will die 10 toes down on this hill, and when you bury me, do it face down, so that everybody that disagrees with me can kiss my ass. Corneo reveals to them that Shinra has plans to stomp out the entirety of Sector 7, Avalanche and all, by destroying the support pillar holding the plate. When Cloud and Tifa discuss whether or not they would actually go through with it, or if it was simply a matter of Corneo lying, Aerith insists that even if he is lying, it's better to be safe than sorry, and we should act as if it is true. We should do everything in our power to arrive as quickly as possible. Instead of walking, we run. Alright, fair enough. It's a perfectly valid point. And even if Corneo turns out to be lying, what's the worst that could happen? We worked off a couple extra calories that added muscle to our already stone fortresses we call bodies? Seriously, you could grate cheese on them things. Well, at least that's what it seemed like at first. Later on, while on their way back, Tifa can't seem to shake this uneasy feeling about what Corneo said. And we see yet again a strange interaction from Aerith.
Damn it. I can't stop thinking about what Corneo said.
I know. Me too.
It's gotta be a trick. There's no way they'd go that far. But what if Corneo really was telling the truth? We have to get there in time to stop it. We have to.
Right.
Aerith, what are you not telling me?
Huh?
Yes, Aerith. What are you not telling us? Enough beating around the bush, what exactly is it that Aerith knows? Well, my fellow viewers, if you haven't picked up on it by this point, Aerith knows the future. Or rather, she knew exactly how all the events would play out. Now, it may seem like I'm saying the same thing here, but the wording definitely matters. You don't necessarily have to be able to see into the future to know of events that are going to happen. Remember earlier when I brought up the original Final Fantasy VII? What does that have to do with the remake, and more specifically, everything that I have just talked about with Aerith? Well, again, to put it simply, even though Final Fantasy VII Remake is a reimagining of the original title, that does not mean that the original is no longer canon. It still exists. And in fact, it's because it is canon that explains why Aerith knows all of the info about future events that have yet to happen. Because of course, they already happened before in another world line. Final Fantasy VII Remake is more than just a remake. It's a sequel. The events of Final Fantasy VII Remake take place after the events of the original game. That would explain why there's so many different events that are not in the original, as well as the numerous instances in which Aerith knows almost definitively what is coming next. In the garden with Cloud, Aerith states it's a special occasion. Cloud asks what, and of course she doesn't respond, instead chuckling it off.
Could have fooled me. From what I've seen, you're no quitter.
Well, today's special. That's why I've been working my butt off.
What's so special about it?
Well, that depends on the customer. In your case... it's on the house.
Huh?
Lovers used to give these when they were reunited.
Of course, because the occasion is reuniting with Cloud again, because as we all know, she didn't make it to the end of the original story. When Cloud mentions Sephiroth may still be alive, and her response is telling us to not maybe, he is alive.
Oh, right.
When the weight of Corneo's words bogged down Tifa, instead of reassuring her that they would make it in time, she responds as if she already knows that they won't. It'll be too late.
But what if Corneo really was telling the truth? We have to get there in time to stop it. We have to.
Right.
Aerith?
Aerith. There's a bar in the center of town, Seventh Heaven. I need you to...
Get Marlene to safety, right? It's okay. I'll find her.
Huh?
And just for the sake of pulling at your heartstrings, during Final Fantasy VII Remake, the night before you go to rescue Aerith, there is a scene that has multiple different versions. One with Tifa, one with Barret, and of course, one with Aerith. During the one with Aerith, she says, well, I'll just play the clip for you.
Everyone dies eventually.
I suppose.
So we need to make the most of the time we have. To live our lives the way we want to live. Every minute, every moment matters.
I'll remember that.
Good.
You need to embrace this moment. Right?
I'm glad I met you, Cloud. I really am. I'm grateful for all the words we've shared, for all the moments and the memories. You've made me more happy than you know. And I'll always cherish what you've given me. But whatever happens, you can't fall in love with me. Even if you think you have, it's not real.
Do I get a say in all this?
It's almost morning. Time to go.
I'm coming for you.
If that's what you want. Thank you.
Not only that, but remember earlier when I said that this may pertain to Cloud as well? Remember all the times Cloud has had relapses suffering from mental strain. Numerous times it pertains to moments influenced by his past memories being lost, such as when Aerith speaks Zack's name or whenever Sephiroth is implemented in a play. Because of this, naturally we would all assume that that is such the reason for the relapses, especially us returning players. That being Cloud's true self fighting with the persona of Zack that he has taken on, and regaining the truth of the past. However, there is one instance in particular that contributes heavily to the fact that this is indeed a sequel taking place after the original events of FF7. After the bombing mission, Cloud and Avalanche arrive safely back in Sector 7. After a successful mission, they all split off for some well-needed R&R. While on his way to meet up with Tifa at 7th Heaven, Cloud glances upwards towards the plate, where he again has an all-too-familiar relapse. However, this time, he has a vision of the plate falling. Why would Cloud be having flashes of future events that have yet to happen? Unless, of course, they have already happened in the past. This relapse of the plate falling has absolutely nothing to do with neither Sephiroth nor Zack. But even though that's the case, his relapses are all the same. His past memories that are being suppressed fighting to get out. Emphasis on past memories, just like his memories of Sephiroth and Zack. Just like Aerith, Cloud is witnessing events of the original Final Fantasy VII, because naturally all of our characters have already experienced it. Now, a question would be, why Aerith and Cloud? Why not Tifa? Why not Barret? Why do only these two have this knowledge, albeit with Cloud very limited? Well, the answer to that simply is the planet, or rather the life stream of the planet. Remember, Aerith being the last surviving ancient, she is completely in tune with the life stream of the planet, even being able to communicate with her. And as well as Cloud, this is no different for him either. Remember, what is Cloud? A soldier. What is the most dominant feature of being a soldier? Their eyes.
Wow. Your eyes.
It's 'cause of the Mako. All soldiers have them.
Proof of someone who has been infused with Mako energy. And what is Mako? None other than the life stream of the planet herself. This could also be the reason why Cloud had this so-called dream about Aerith the night before rescuing her. They are both connected through the life stream. As you can see with the residual green glow around Aerith, this obviously is the life stream at work here. The planet is calling out for help. Barrett may have just been spitting out facts this entire time.
This pump's sole purpose is to drain the planet dry. While you sleep, while you eat, while you shit, it's here sucking up Mako. It doesn't rest, and it doesn't care. You do realize what Mako is, don't you? Mako is the lifeblood of our world. The planet bleeds green like you and me bleed red. The hell you think's gonna happen when it's all gone, huh? Answer me! You gonna stand there and pretend you can't hear the planet crying out in pain? I know you can!
In the original FF7, we essentially got the bad ending, where Sephiroth got the black materia summoning Meteor and it couldn't be stopped. This is our chance for a good ending. You can't undo what's already been done. As Red 13 has stated, Holy is useless now. Meteor has already been summoned and is approaching the planet. But with the power of Holy, we are given another chance by Aerith and the planet. A chance to stop Meteor from ever being summoning, because once we reach that fatal point of it approaching, there is no going back. A second chance. Hence the question, what will become of the planet? We don't know. Wrapping it back around full circle, this is not only a remake, it's a sequel, a reimagining of the original story. So many things different throughout, and even more uncertainty to come in the future. But for now, we must lie in wait to witness the outcome ourselves of the future of the planet. And before you go, I'd like to acknowledge real quick that yes, I do remember having said that Zack has something to do with all of this. But you may also remember me saying how this is a different world line. Well, those two things coincide, and that's a whole nother discussion to get into next time. And of course, as always, it's been Vel, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Later.